Hi everyone, it's Tawney. Today we are going to be trying out some new makeup, and I just kind of wanted to go in again and use some of this makeup. I've gotten a lot of new makeup recently and I'm really trying to get through a lot of it. I'm trying to use the makeup. I realize that I buy a lot of makeup and then it just sits here waiting to be used until I either get rid of it because I'm not interested or realize I'm not interested in it. And I just kind of wanted to go through what I can, try on some stuff, work my way through this makeup that I've been like slowly hoarding for the last like month. I've been dealing with some stuff, so it's taken me a while to like work on like using this makeup and actually like putting on my makeup. I haven't really been in the mood to wear makeup to work, so I haven't been wearing makeup daily, so that's just kind of where we're at. I feel like I say that all the time, like that's where we're at, but that's kind of how things are going. I don't have a new primer, so I'm going to skip past that and I will come back with foundation. Okay, so the primer that I put on my face today is the NYX Angel Veil Primer, and I am going in today with the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. I've already tried this out in a new makeup try on video that you will see. I will link it in the cards and down in the description box, or just in the cards, because sometimes I forget about the description box in my videos. But I already filmed a video while using this, and I will say it explodes everywhere. I had an issue with it the first time that I applied it and tried to use it and all that stuff, and it like went everywhere, and now it is going everywhere again. So be careful with that. Don't wear white clothes. Make sure that like you're prepared for it to like explode out anywhere that it's like in the vicinity of. But other than that, it's a good foundation. It's very droopy, like liquidy, so that's something to keep in mind, which is probably why it is exploding. I'm not sure why it's exploding out of the pump. That's a little bit weird, but that's what we're going in with today. I have used this once before, and I wasn't able to leave a video talking about like my thoughts on it at the end of the day like I like to do. But I will say in this video, I did like the foundation and how it wore throughout the day. How it wore throughout the day. I felt like it provided the right amount of coverage, and it didn't cover as much as I would like it to. I feel like it does cover a good bit. I could still see a little bit of stuff through that, but honestly, like I'm okay with that because it like doesn't claim to be able to do something like that. But it lasted a long time. I didn't look super oily. I could tell there was a little bit of shine coming through, but nothing like insanely crazy. And I definitely like this one. I would definitely recommend this and tell you to check it out if you like light to medium coverage foundations and ones that are not really dewy, more on the fresh side, like an in-between of matte and gloss, or matte and dewy. So I would say to give it a try if you've been thinking about it. I put 2 pumps on my hand and this is the remaining, so I would definitely recommend just doing 1 pump. So I'm going to go in with the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer, and I am in the shade Fair Porcelain. In the Catrice foundation, I'm in the shade Neutral Porcelain, if anybody is interested or thinks they might be close to my shade. And I'm going to zoom through this so you don't have to deal with all of this, and we'll come back for the powder. Okay, so now we are going to go in with the Hard Candy Chilling Wonder Powder, Sheer Envy Loose Powder. I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. powder brush because I don't like to bake. So I'm just going to go in with that, tap off the excess, and then just like put it on my face. It has that water cooling effect that the Becca powder has. So if you don't like that, or that's not something you're interested in, stay away from this. But if you're interested in trying it, I would definitely say to go ahead and get this, especially if you were interested in the Becca one at the time, because this is only like $10, I think. And they are not going out of business, and it'd be better to try from a brand that you can rebuy from than a brand that will no longer be making products after, I think, this year or next year. So I took the main parts of the powder under my eyes and my T-zone, and then with whatever was left, I just kind of brushed outward onto my face. I don't feel like I need to set this foundation in any way, and the last time I applied it, I used this powder, so I felt like everything settled down pretty well, and I really like the way it like applied and worked and wore throughout the day. So if you're curious about that, I feel like it would hold up really well to any of the powders that you typically use. So you don't have to worry about using a specific kind of powder to pair with this. Now I'm going to do my brows off camera because I don't have anything new for brows either. Sorry guys. The bronzer I'm going to use today is wait, that's the wrong one. It's the Catrice Sungasm Luminizing Bronzer. I used this in a previous video and I really like the way it looked and applied. I feel like it was a really nice bright sheen to my face and like really brought like a nice glow to the outer parts of my face. And I honestly kind of like that. If you're not a fan of luminizing bronzers, I would say to stay away from this one because I feel like this one is quite luminizing compared to like a mattifying bronzer. I mean, obviously, but like I just want to give you all a heads up on if you would be interested in trying this, to like use caution or get something different, you know, because this might not be your cup of tea. But I feel like it adds like a really nice bronzy glow to my skin and allows me to like look more suntanned and sun-kissed than I normally do, which I could use all the help I can get at this point. I forgot that I had this until I put on my powder. So we're just gonna put this over top and see what happens. This is the ColourPop Cheek Dew Serum Blush. I have the shade So Cosmo, and I'm not totally sure how to apply this. I haven't really watched any videos on this, but I know they exist. So if you wanna see a video that's not mine, or somebody who's like going more in depth, I would say to check out the ones that you see. I don't know who did any of them though, so I can't really recommend any, but it comes in a packaging like this and you squeeze it out through right here. So I'm just going to squeeze one drop of it on the back of my hand because I don't want to waste it like I did the foundation. And then I believe I'm going to go in with my sponge and use the round part and just dab it on, starting up here and then working my way down, but staying above the bronzer. And I'm just gonna do it that way. I feel like from first application, I mean, you can barely see it. I can barely see it. It is very like light. Like you really have to like get in there with it. And it could be the sponge sucking it up, honestly. I don't really know. But like, I can barely tell I'm wearing a blush. Like, you can see a bit of a difference, but not much. So we're gonna go in with our finger over here. And I don't like to use my fingers on my face when I do my makeup. It's just like a personal thing I'm not crazy about. But we're gonna do it for the sake of the video to try and like look nice and see if we can make this work. Okay, that looked a little bit better. I feel like it's kind of patchy. Like, maybe it's just because of the tapping motion I'm doing. I'm trying not to like smudge it, you know? I'm not totally sure how I'm feeling about this. This might be one I'd have to try on its own, like just over top foundation, like where it has nothing else to really like combat against, because I know I kind of screwed up putting the powder and the bronzer on. That is my fault. I'm very sorry. Okay, now I feel like it's doing a little bit of something. I don't think it is very, I'm gonna do my nose too with the remaining on my finger, which kind of looked like blood as it dried, which is kind of gross. But I feel like it is one that goes on very light and you have to build it up. I do see it on my nose now, which is kind of a good thing. But I would say to go in light and then work your way just until you get kind of like the hang of it. The highlighter that I'm going in with today is from Catrice, and it is their Sungasm Face and Body Highlighter, and it looks like this. And I'm just going to put lightly and then just kind of blend it. I don't know if this brush actually can like do any blending, but we're like trying to soften it out just a little bit because it does go on a little bit intense. So definitely be aware of that, especially if you don't like an intense highlighter, that it can become a little bit much. But I think it's quite nice. I really have been liking it. I've worn it a couple times since filming that video, and I was a really big fan of it. So that's a good thing, especially with how big it is and for how affordable it is. Like, you really can't beat that. Definitely not. Okay, so now that we have our face done, we're going to go in with the Milani eyeshadow primer and prime the eyelids, and I will be right back and we will do the eyeshadow. Okay, so we have our eyelids primed and we are all ready to go in with the eyeshadow palette. I have a new palette to use. It's kind of new-ish, but it's been out for a while. It's not the newest collection at all by any means, but it is new to me. It is the Melrose palette. It says off Melrose, which I'm a little bit confused by that, but it is the Melrose palette from ColourPop. Yeah, the packaging on the outer side doesn't really like help me figure out the name of it either, but this is what it looks like on the inside. It doesn't have a mirror. I think the shadows look very interesting. I was very intrigued by this shade right here. I like felt that it was so pretty and like unique, and it was definitely one that like convinced me to get the palette. I think I'm gonna stay pretty neutral. There is a like pinky mauve in here that I'm gonna try and use just because I feel like it would go well with my shirt, and then it'll like make my look a little bit pinkier and not quite as like neutral brown. Okay, so now I think the first shadow I'm going to go in with is On the List, which is that pinky mauve shade, only because Boutique has a bit of that shimmer in it, and I don't really want that shimmer to like show up. So I'm just going to go in with On the List and put that in the crease, and then we're going to blend it out. Okay, on camera, it's coming up a lot more pink than it really is, but it's a very like dusty purple pink, like dusty rose taupe kind of a thing. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like a pinkish purple and it's light. But I really like the way it looks so far. Now we're going to go in with Down to Earth, and it's spelled U-R-T-H, which I feel like means something, but I don't honestly know what it means. And I'm just going to kind of create a wing with my brush. I'm using the JH and Morphe JH37 brush just because it's the one that I have out. And I'm just using, I mean, it's like a very big blendy brush, and I'm just going in with it because I'm not an expert, and whenever I try, it just doesn't turn out. So I'm just doing it how I'm doing it. And I'm just going to kind of run it along my lash line and then go up to create kind of a wing. I mean, you can kind of see it doing something, but I mean, not that I know what I'm doing in any way, shape, or form. I'm just kind of half butting it until something happens. Maybe one day something will click and it'll all work out. I think it looks good so far. I'm not mad at it. I've never been one to do like a smoked out wing kind of a thing with my like eyeshadow or eyeliner. So I'm definitely like trying something different with this, which that's like the point of makeup, is to try something new, get out of your comfort zone, do something you don't normally do. So that's what we're doing today, something we don't normally do. Okay, now I'm going to take that same shade, that Down to Earth, and put it on my lower lash line, starting up where that wing would meet, and then slowly working my way in, but keeping the color mainly on the outside of the lash line. So then that way the color is more deepened out here than it is in here. Yeah, I think that looks nice so far. It's definitely not my usual, but you know, it's nice to try something different. So now we're going to go in with that shade Fairfax, which is that really pretty bluish purple. It kind of leans almost pink. I'm going to swatch it. Okay, this is what it looks like swatched. It is very pinky from the side. It doesn't look too pink. It looks more like a brighter pink than what this is showing. Like it's more purpley pink than what you see, but we're going to go for it. I'm using my finger, tapping off a little bit just so I don't have that like crumble to it. And then I'm going to put that on the inner part of my eye. And then I'm taking a finger that doesn't have color and kind of meshing the shadows so it's not quite as like crazy looking. Yeah, okay, that looks nice. Holy crap. Okay, we're going in a little bit too intense. It's okay if your look always gets a little bit like chaotic, because I'm going to go back in with that On the List shade a little bit heavier than I had the first time. And I'm going to go back into my transition area where I put it originally and just kind of go over it again so it can kind of combat with that shimmer that we just put on. Because it was a little intense and it got a little out of hand, which is fine. We can always cover that up and make things look good again. Okay, so this is what we're looking like. I really like the way it's turning out. The wing's not quite my favorite, but I did try something new. So there's that. And now I'm going to go in with the shade Trading Post. And it's that nice taupey silvery shimmer shade. And I'm putting that on the inner corner and gonna put it on the brow bone as well. Okay, so that is how it turned out. I think it looks quite nice. It's definitely not what I thought I was going to go for today, but we did it. So that's where we're at. Now we're going to go in with a new mascara that I have. It is the Physicians Formula Butter Blowout Mascara in the shade Black. It's in the shade Black. This is what the wand looks like. It's a little bit of an hourglass shape, but not quite as much hourglass as as other mascaras tend to be. Like the Falsies Lash Lift from Maybelline is not quite like that, but it definitely has that like cone shape, I would say. But I kind of feel like it's going to give off the vibes as if it like the same kind of a look as the hourglass shaped wands do, or at least I'm hoping they do. Okay, so this is what it's looked like on the first eye. I really like the way this is applying. It's giving me that nice lift while also giving me like some good volume, which is always what I look for in a mascara. it's not clumping them too much, at least not more than what I'm used to. So I think this is a pretty nice mascara, and this is the first application I've been using it. It has not been opened, so it hasn't had time to dry out or anything like that, because I know that can sometimes affect the wear of a mascara. And I like to see how they apply just initially right out of the tube, right out of the packaging from the first time you use it. I don't want to have to wait a while to use something like a mascara, because then, like, what's the point in buying it? Okay, so this is what it looks like on the lower lash line. It doesn't do quite as much as I'd hoped it would. I feel like it's losing a little bit of, like, the stuff, like the formula or whatever on the wand. I feel like is getting a little bit, like, I might have to dip back in, which I hate that, but it's not like the worst thing. Okay, they're looking a little bit better now. I'm feeling a little bit better about the lower lash line. So now I'm going to go back in with the top lashes and just see what a second coat does. I don't always do a second coat because I either don't have the time for that, or I just don't want to go that far. But we're doing it just for the sake of the video since it's a brand new mascara. Okay, so this is what the second coat looks like. Yeah, so I really like the way this is applying. I think it looks really nice. And I'm definitely going to keep using this one because so far it looks really good. Hopefully it wears good throughout the rest of the day. So now I'm going to go in with the Catrice Powerful Liquid Lip Balm. It has 5 things to it: hyaluronic acid, vitamin E, shea butter, green tea, and goji berry. And I have the shade Raspberry Cream. So we're going to put that on the lips and see how that works out today. I saw this and I was like really intrigued by it, and I really like the color, so I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. It has a weird, like, popsicle stick kind of a smell to it that I'm not wild about. But as long as it doesn't linger, I'll be fine. So yeah, this is what it looks like. I think it's a really nice glossy balm. I'm not really familiar with lip balms in any way, but I feel like this looks really nice. I kind of feel like this is a mixture between a liquid lipstick and a lip gloss almost. Like, that's kind of the vibes I'm giving me. But I really like it. I really like this shade. I feel like this is definitely a shade I've been, like, looking for to keep in my collection. So I'm very excited to keep trying that out and seeing how I like it. But so far the formula is really good, so I would recommend it so far. So now we're going to go in with a new setting spray that I have picked up. It is not new, and I have the MAC Fix Plus setting spray, and we're going to test this out and see how I like it. You have to do that initial spray or else you'll get droplets all over your face and it just will not look good with your makeup. Oh, it smells very nice. Like, it's kind of giving me like posh, rich vibes. Like, I know that sounds so stupid, but like, I've never wanted to buy this because it's kind of expensive. I think it's $29, $32, somewhere in that range. So it's not terribly expensive, but considering the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray is $16 and most setting sprays are like $10 to $14, give or take, I kind of feel like that's a little bit high, but it's supposed to be like super good and transformative for your makeup. So hopefully it will look good for my makeup and keep my makeup lasting good throughout the day. So far, so good with it. I think my makeup looks really nice. I think it turned out really well. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And ring that notification bell down below so you get notified when I upload my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching as I get my hair out of my mouth. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!